Here are 5 words every RV enthusiast should know: advocacy, community, education, resources, rewards. That's what the RV Advisor was built on, along with protecting your rights. Visit thervadvisor.com.
This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander, and today I'm joined by Jake and Cheru. Hey, folks. Hey, how are you?
Hey.
Hello.
It's good to see you. You're in your RV right now, and you guys are situated in Washington State. You mentioned to me Monroe. Is that close by to? Is that near Seattle or Tacoma, or is it kind of off?
We're about an hour northeast of Seattle.
Okay, gotcha. So, and is it still nice weather out there now, or are the clouds starting to roll in? Is it starting to get?
Clouds are coming in. They're starting to roll. We had a great summer, but the clouds and rain are starting to roll in.
I had a friend that lived there, very good friend of mine, lived there for I think over 20 years, and said, you got about 2 really great sunny months, and then be prepared to be grayed in, as he would describe it. Yeah, that's all right. It is what you make of it, and it sounds like it looks like you guys are happy, so that's a good thing. Now you're both. This is interesting. You're both in the healthcare field, and so you work from. You don't work from home, but that's your headquarters, and keeps you busy. And I would imagine. I'm just guessing here, but having a smaller, what you refer to on your Instagram page as sort of a tiny home, can help save money, right? You kind of put your money toward other things.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so let's go back to the beginning. First of all, when did you guys decide that you were going to get a place, an RV versus living in bricks and mortar?
Sure. Yeah, I think we're in the same boat as a lot of people have been increasingly in the last couple of years. Is with the rising housing prices, we were faced with the decision to either get a loan that we could probably get, but would be in a financial hole for a very long time.
Yeah.
Or figure out something else. And so we put an offer in on a house March of this year, and we were outbid by about $100,000. So that was my turning point. And
wow.
And I decided, I called my wife up and I said, you know what, I think RV living might be for us for this season.
Yeah, and I said no, thank you.
That was a deal breaker, huh? Was it going to happen?
Hang the phone up. I remember I was taking a walk and I got a call from him. It's like, I'm really serious. Why don't we live in? Because I really didn't know about the RV community and how it actually tiny home living and all this. I had perceptions about it. And so when he called me, I was just taking a walk and I was like, no, I just politely said no, thank you. And that was the end of the conversation for that day. Until
I'm persistent.
Yeah. And so I did my due diligence and went searching. So I went in and looked at girls, Pinterest. So I went into Pinterest and YouTube and looked at all these videos, and I said, oh, we could, because I just started a business too on the side for African print. So I was learning how to sew. So I was like, maybe I can, sew stuff. So when I saw all this Pinterest, like renovations and stuff, I was like, maybe we could, do something with our rig, or by then I called it an RV or trailer, and I got really into it. And then the next day I sent him this long text message explaining how we should go ahead and do this. And it just a change of mind within 24 hours. I dived in after that.
Wow. All right. So that was the turning point. Pretty good. How did you two meet? Where did you meet? Was it in the healthcare field?
No, we met online.
Yeah.
We were on an online dating platform, and she lived just south of where we currently live, and
closer to Seattle. Yeah, I was downtown Seattle. Well, south of Seattle, couple minutes from Seattle, and he was up down in Monroe, and
we started dating. I went on a trip to New York with her, and a month later, well, no, in New York, I proposed. We were married within like 3 months.
Yeah, it was fast.
Wow, man, that's
it's been a little over 2 years ago.
Okay, so you just celebrated your second anniversary, and that's great. Congratulations. I'm trying to think. Like the paper anniversary? What the heck is the second anniversary? There's always this category. You got the silver at 25, the gold at 50, but then there's all kinds of like really weird ones before and after.
I haven't looked those up. I'll have to.
Yeah. It's like, Taco Tuesday wedding, whatever, anniversary, whatever the heck it is. That's terrific. So here you are now in your RV, and but what's interesting is that you're stationary. You haven't really gone anywhere. It's your home, and it's stationary, and you're there in Monroe. But I'm sure that down the line you're looking for some possible places to visit and take your home with you.
It would be fantastic. Yeah, I think there's just work and family kind of holds us here for now, but I think both of us are working on developing alternate forms of income to where we could potentially travel more.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, right, Cheru. You mentioned that you have. I guess Afrocentric is your company, or is it something you said? Were they African prints? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So my company is actually called Lalam Toto Designs, and I do African print. It's a whole different. I have a whole Instagram for that. That's a whole different page.
Yeah.
And I actually I just do African print. Fabric on blankets for babies, and then I started getting custom orders, people wanting me to customize it for big babies, as I call them, adults. So I started doing adults all the way to like babies, but I started with babies and infants and toddlers. And so I do African print. There's East African Leso Kanga fabric, or the West African, or Ankara fabric that I put on the blankets, and then I sell them. So yeah, that's how I started. I started learning when it was during the stay at home a year ago, is it?
Yeah.
I did not know how to sew, so I just kind of went on YouTube and
YouTube. It's amazing how people just you can pretty much learn. It has pulled me out of so many fires. It's crazy. I'll be like, oh no, what do I do? How do I get this done? There's got to be a YouTube video, and it shows you how to do it, and not only kind of get you out of a crisis sometimes, but also real entrepreneurial stuff, which obviously you learned and now are building something out of it. We want to learn more about all that. We will on the other side. By the way, Afrocentric RV Living, there it is. I want to make sure I got that right. Afrocentric RV Living is the place to go on Instagram, and they've got some great pictures here, some really cool stuff. And we're going to learn more all about that when we come back on the other side. My guests are Jake and Cheru. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. Stay tuned.
The rights of the RV enthusiast are important. That's why the RV Advisor has built a nationwide network of RV owners, empowering you with advice you can trust. Visit thervadvisor.com.
We are back on the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. Jake and Cheru are joining us, and we have a third guest right now. There she is. Tell us her name.
Her name is Nala.
Nala. Is that Nala?
Yes.
Exactly. Yep.
Nala. Wonderful. Nala. Hi, Nala.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hi. Wow. All right. So she's like, who's this old guy on my screen?
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah, Nala is our unscheduled but very welcome guest here on the pod. Okay, she's going to take a little break.
Yes.
And that's all right. No, it's great to see her. And we were talking in the break, Cheru, about a little bit about getting things going with your business and the prints. We mentioned it at the end of the last segment, but we were continuing in the break. And I know that your native country is Kenya. And are some of these items that you design and is the inspiration native to Kenya? Are there things connected to your home country?
Yeah. Well, the inspiration. Well, I think for me the inspiration came because being so far away from home, you don't know what you're missing until you're far from it.
Yeah.
And so I kind of I missed a lot of like the culture, the food, the music, and I think I appreciate it more as I'm older now versus what I was before. When I was a teenager, when I had it every time, everywhere I go. So I wanted to just kind of incorporate that in my life, and also for my children, so that they can like probably inherit that legacy, kind of, so they know where I'm from and where their mom is from, where they're partially from, because in this era it's very hard to travel with COVID at the moment, as we know. And so it's nice to just kind of indulge, immerse them in that culture with music, with the fabrics, with it is. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And if people are interested in this and they want to see more of it or learn where they can get it, where do they go?
Well, there is a Instagram page. It's Lalam Toto Designs. It's harder to spell, but it's
why don't you spell it for us?
Okay, so it's LALAMTOTO Designs. Okay. On Instagram, or lalamtotodesigns.com.
lalamtotodesigns.com. lalamtotodesigns.com. Great. Excellent. Well, we want to definitely see that. And I know when our master editor AB gets a hold of this, he'll incorporate some of those graphics, and we'll get to see all that stuff, because I don't know how he does what he does, but he's always
good.
adding a lot of production value to the show. And for you folks listening on audio only, well, you'll just have to imagine. It's we deliver this podcast, Jake and Cheru, both video and audio. So sometimes people are just hearing it, so we have to sort of paint pictures for them sometimes. But yeah, that's okay. Theater of the mind, I guess. But definitely check out their Instagram page. Check out the Instagram page at Afrocentric RV Living at Instagram. That's / Afrocentric RV Living. You'd think these things would stick in my head after a while, but they don't. I continually always forgetting stuff. But I found that once I got to the 5-0, it just started to a little bit, each year started to decrease what I could retain. I could remember baseball stats from the 70s, but things that happened that morning, forget it. So, I know that with, you've also got your little girl with you. And, obviously at some point, life on maybe doing some traveling, that's going to be such an education for her to see different things, and for you as well. But when you're wide-eyed and young like that, it's really magical, right?
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, are there things that you would? I mean, you're out west, so I'm imagining things like the Grand Canyon and different places like that are probably on the list.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm very jealous when I see people traveling.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be one of them someday, where we can just take off for a year and travel the country.
You will, and and hopefully that'll be sooner than later, and we'll get to catch up with you again from the road. which would be
Yeah.
should be fantastic. And I have to say, I'm right with you, Jake, because I sit here in my studio and do the show, and it's always hearing about other people traveling and all what great times they had. And of course, I just continue to sit here and do the show. What are you gonna do? It's you know, it happens. But listen, it was great to visit with you guys, and you know, I think it's wonderful that you've got this. You know, you're stationary, but you look like you just couldn't be happier, and you're both doing such amazing, helpful work in the community by being healthcare. I can't tell you. We've all learned in the last 2 years now, almost going on 2 years, how important it is. You know, how valued our healthcare workers are, and my hat's off to you. I've got, like I said, I've got a few friends in the business, so to speak, and it is a challenge. But thank you very much for your great work to both of you. My guests, Jake and Cheru, and it is Afrocentric RV Living. You can find them at Instagram. We'll have you on again, folks. Promise.
All right.
All right. Thanks again. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a minute to wrap things up.
GPS is Gigi's personal services. She's an RV expert with over 3 decades of experience. To learn more, visit thervadvisor.com today.
Wrapping things up now on the RV Advisor Podcast. Just want to let you know our social media page needs you. We want you to join in on all the fun. Let's see your posts, your pictures, information, whatever you want. It's there's a lot going on there. Check it out. Go to the RVadvisor.com. That's the RVadvisor.com. Scroll down and you'll see the Good Deeds Club. Click there. If you haven't become a member yet, do it today. If you're already a member, please join in on the fun. Go to the RVadvisor.com today. We'll see you next time right here on the RV Advisor Podcast. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you soon.